Repotting a Monstera plant can feel really risky, and honestly, a lot of people are afraid to do it. But if you follow a few simple steps, your Monstera will not only be healthier after you repot it, it'll also begin to grow even faster. Let me show you exactly how to do it safely. The first thing you want to do is make sure that your Monstera actually needs repotting. One thing to look out for is roots coming out of the drainage holes in your pot. As you can see with this one, it's definitely time. The other thing is when you water it, if the water runs out very quickly, it may be an indication that there's actually more roots in the pot than actual soil. And the last one, multiple plants in a single pot. You can see in this Monstera, it looks like, geez, 3 or 4 separate Monstera plants all competing, so it's definitely time to break them up and get them repotted. Fun fact about Monstera, they can tolerate being slightly rootbound, but once the roots start circling around the pot, growth slows down significantly. When you are repotting your Monstera plant, aim to do it in spring or early summer. The reason is the Monstera is in a growth stage. Or if you have your Monstera in an artificial environment like this, where we're controlling how much light it's getting, you can repot whenever you'd like. Okay, it's time to repot. Now here's where most people get nervous, and here's a few tips to help you do it right. When you remove the plant from the pot, the soil should be slightly damp, not bone dry and not soaking wet. This will help to avoid damaging the roots. When you're sliding your plant out of the pot, you want to disturb the roots as little as possible. Monstera don't mind some disruption of the roots, but they certainly don't like aggressive handling. Now you can see here that these roots are really matted and clumped together, and they're sticking out of these little holes. I'm gonna do my best to kind of pull them away from the plastic so that I can slide the plant out. And I know that there might be some breakage. It's okay. We know there's plenty of roots in here. That's the problem, is that we have too much roots in this part. So don't worry too much. Just do the best you can to free up all the roots so that they can slide out of the holes as easy as possible. And you may have to break some pieces. Don't stress. All right, now that I've gotten everything unstuck, I'm ready to slide the pot off. And I just wanted to show you, I had to break a couple of roots just because they were all intertwined. Don't worry, she's gonna be okay. All right, then I like to kind of squeeze the sides and hopefully give a little, give a little shake. Oh my gosh, is this plant ready to be repotted? Now, what a lot of people don't realize is that roots not only take up moisture and nutrients, but they also take up oxygen and need air themselves. So if roots begin circling and are laying on top of each other or are tightly overlapping like this, they can't do their job of touching the soil to pick up nutrients, oxygen, and water. So this was in desperate need. Now, if this was a single plant that I was uppotting, I wouldn't do much to this. I might pull off a little bit of these circling roots just to make sure they're free, but I go ahead and put it right into my soil mixture. I really don't like to disrupt root balls, but because this is multiple Monstera plants in one pot, I really want to put one in a new pot, so I'm gonna have to break it up. All right, I'm gonna gently kind of untangle these roots and start to see if I can separate these plants. If you listen closely, you can probably hear that there is some breaking of roots. It's okay, it's gotta be done. We gotta get these guys separated. I think I'm ready to pull the first plant loose. So if I'm breaking a plant up, you just wanna remember, we wanna leave as many roots attached to the plant as we can. So what I like to do is slide my finger in between where the different plants are, the one that I'm trying to break away, and dig down as deep as I can to kind of feel the roots. You can see this root's coming, so then I can slowly tease out. I can kind of feel the main roots connected with this plant, and I can make sure that they don't get broken as they come apart. And oh man, did this plant need a repotting. But yeah, I can kind of follow that root out. And you know, every root that stays attached to this plant is a higher chance of success when I repot it. First one, loose, yes! I freed them all up. There was actually 5 separate plants in that one pot. So she was running out of space fast. And I'm gonna repot kind of the most dominant plant. You wanna disturb the root ball as little as possible. Now, clearly I disturbed this one very much because there were so many other plants intertwined, but I'm gonna try not to touch this huge root ball anymore. You wanna go to a pot size larger, but you don't wanna go to an extremely bigger pot size because what you're trying to avoid is excess moisture sitting in the pot that can cause root rot. So if you have too much soil, then that soil can stay wet for too long and can cause root rot down the road. I like to use soils that have cocoa, which provide water retention. They actually can hold up to 10 times their weight in water. And then something that provides aeration, either an aged bark, which is chunkier pieces in the soil, and or a perlite, which also causes dry, aeration. They don't compact over time. Coast of Maine's houseplant mix is a great one because it has cocoa for that water retention, but it also has perlite and aged bark for that drainage that I'm looking for. A quick hack, hold your root ball up next to the side of the pot, and you can see about how deep you need to fill with soil before you place the plant inside. So you can see here, I need a couple of inches off the ground, and then I'll put the plant in. The goal is to have the soil be at the same height that it was before. I don't want to pack new soil up to here, as it could cause this part of the plant to rot. So I want the soil height to remain at the level that it was previous, that the plant's used to. Let's add a few inches of my soil mixture. So now I'm going to put my plant in. Don't worry about the direction of the roots. The important thing is just to get all the roots covered. Another thing you could do is you can backfill with the soil that the plant came from. Don't be afraid to do that. This soil is packed with the microbes that the plants use to uptake nutrients and that the plant is used to. So I can find it can be really helpful to use the existing soil, unless of course there was an issue with it, like pests, or you found that it was retaining too much water. All right, so she's all repotted. I'm gonna add a bamboo pole for some stability. Oh, this is gonna look great. I'm gonna use just a soft tie to secure it, but you can use anything, twine or gardening Velcro, whatever you'd like. And in this case, she's about to put out a new leaf, so I'm just making sure I don't squish that by accident. Aftercare tips. I like to water right after I transplant because the soil can be dry, and the key is we don't want those roots to dry out. In addition though, we don't want them to be too soggy. So I'm gonna make sure that the water kind of drains out the bottom, and I'm not gonna leave her in a saucer full of water. Plants go through transplant shock after they've been repotted. Anytime you kind of mess with and expose the plant's roots, they kind of can freeze up and they stop taking up water and they stop taking up nutrients. They're kind of like, what's going on here? So for a little while, I just want to make sure that the roots don't dry out. If you're using a soil that doesn't have any nutrients in it, also known as an inert soil, which this one is, I'd wait about 2 to 3 weeks before I start adding in a fertilizer. The reason is because of that transplant shock. Most likely this plant isn't going to be eating and drinking much, so we don't want to be fertilizing her. If you're using a soil that does have some food in it, like a traditional potting mix, I would wait 4 to 6 weeks before I would start adding any additional nutrients. Also, avoid direct bright sunlight for a couple of days while your plant is settling. Indirect light will help it recover. If you follow these steps, your repotted Monstera won't just survive, it'll thrive. If this helps, subscribe for simple plant care guides that help your plants thrive. And let me know in the comments, how big is your Monstera right now and does it need repotting?